Why didn't ancient humans sleep alone? The fire has burned low. Embers glow in the darkness. Around it, bodies are pressed together. Mothers with infants at their breasts, children curled against grandparents, hunters with their backs to the flames, facing outward. Everyone is breathing. Everyone is warm. Everyone is vulnerable. In the darkness beyond the firelight, eyes watch. Teeth gleam. Paws move silently through the grass. But they do not attack, because someone is awake. Someone is always awake. This is how ancient humans slept. Not alone, not in private bedrooms, not in silence. They slept together, packed together, pressed against each other in the darkness. And there was a reason. There were many reasons. When we think about how ancient humans slept, we tend to imagine something romantic. A single person, wrapped in furs, lying alone under the stars. Or we imagine something communal but chaotic. A pile of bodies, indistinguishable, anonymous. But the truth is more interesting than either of those pictures. The truth is that sleeping alone is one of the most modern inventions in human history. For the vast majority of our existence on this planet, ancient humans slept together in groups. And it wasn't just about warmth. Let's start with the most obvious reason. Predators. Imagine you're an ancient human sleeping on the ground. You can't climb trees like a chimpanzee. You don't have thick fur. You don't have claws or sharp teeth. You are soft. You are slow. You are easy to kill. And in the darkness, there are things that want to eat you. Lions, leopards, hyenas, wolves. The human sleep pattern is paradoxical. Sleep is vital for optimal physical and cognitive performance, yet humans sleep the least of all primates. Our closest relatives, the chimpanzees, sleep 3 hours more than the average person, and they sleep in trees. But humans sleep on the ground. Why would we do something so dangerous? Because we had each other. One study of modern hunter-gatherers found that out of 220 hours of observation, everyone was asleep at the same time for a total of only 18 minutes. Someone was always awake. Younger people liked to stay up late. Older people tended to get up early. Mothers woke with newborns. Elders rose to relieve themselves. This is called the poorly sleeping grandparent hypothesis. The idea is that, for much of human history, living and sleeping in mixed age groups of people with different sleep habits helped our ancestors keep a watchful eye and make it through the night. Natural selection may have favored genetic differences in chronotype to increase the likelihood that at least one member of a sleep group was awake at any one time. It was a 24-hour sentry system, and it worked. But predators weren't the only threat. There was something else. Something that would surprise you. The cold. When you sleep alone, your body heat escapes. When you sleep in a group, you share warmth. This is not just comfort. This is survival. In Ice Age Europe, temperatures could drop to minus 30 degrees Celsius. Without modern heating, without insulated houses, without thermal clothing, you would die. Unless you had other bodies to keep you warm. The archaeological evidence is clear. Sleeping sites functioned as a type of social shelter by way of an extended structure of social groups that increases fitness. Short, high-quality, and flexibly timed sleep likely originated as a response to predation risks while sleeping terrestrially. And this practice may have been a necessary pre-adaptation for migration out of Africa and for survival in ecological niches that penetrate latitudes with the greatest seasonal variation in light and temperature on the planet. Sleeping together wasn't a choice. It was a necessity. Now, here's the part that will challenge everything you thought you knew. There's a reason humans sleep so little compared to other primates. Our models predict that humans should sleep 10.5 to 11 hours, but we don't. We average about 7 hours. That's 3 to 4 hours less than we should sleep. Why? Because sleeping on the ground was dangerous. Too much deep sleep is deadly. REM sleep is the stage where we dream. Our muscles become paralyzed to avoid acting out these dreams. If you're in REM sleep and a predator attacks, you cannot run, you cannot fight, you are helpless. So humans evolved to sleep more efficiently. We spend up to 25% of sleep in REM, the most of any primate. But we sleep less overall. And we sleep in groups. This allowed us to get the refreshing benefits of sleep while being able to defend ourselves. But there was something else, something even more surprising. Segmented sleep. There is evidence that before the modern era, humans didn't sleep in one uninterrupted block. They slept in two phases. A first sleep that lasted several hours after dark. Then a waking period in the middle of the night, sometimes an hour or more. Then a second sleep that lasted until morning. During those waking moments between sleeps, a whole mini-day could commence. Families rose from their beds to urinate, smoke tobacco, and even visit close neighbors. Remaining abed, many persons also made love, prayed, and, most important, reflected on the dreams that typically preceded waking from their first sleep. This pattern is documented in historical records spanning 2,000 years. In English, it was called first sleep and second sleep. In Italian, primo sonno and secondo sonno. In French, premier sommeil and deuxième sommeil. This wasn't a cultural quirk, it may have been biological. In one experiment, psychiatrist Thomas Wehr deprived human subjects of artificial light at night for several weeks. Their sleep became biphasic, divided into two bouts, several hours in duration, with a 1 to 3 hour waking interval between them. This suggests that what we call insomnia today might actually be a natural human sleep pattern reasserting itself. We've been conditioned to think that waking in the night is a disorder, but for most of human history, it was normal. And it was made possible by one thing: sleeping together. When you sleep alone, waking in the night is frightening. You lie there in the darkness, alone, afraid. But when you sleep in a group, the middle of the night waking period becomes something else. A time for intimacy, a time for conversation, a time for connection. This brings us to the most important reason ancient humans didn't sleep alone: social bonding. In traditional societies, adult sleepers recline on skins, mats, wooden platforms, or the ground. Virtually no one, including children, keeps a regular bedtime. Individuals tend to slip in and out of slumber several times during the night, and they do it together. This is not just about survival, it's about belonging. The protection gained from sleeping socially allowed early humans to get a better night's rest. Better sleep makes us more amenable and facilitates social interaction. Building stronger relationships may have fostered more cooperative sleeping groups and improved sleep in a soporific feedback loop. By sleeping more efficiently, early humans could also stay awake later into the night, singing songs, learning new skills, and developing friendships. The extra time spent transmitting cultural information and strengthening social ties would have given Homo sapiens an evolutionary advantage. Sleeping together wasn't just about safety, it was about civilization. Now, here's the part that will make you rethink your own sleeping habits. Co-sleeping is part of an ancient behavioral complex. It's the biopsychosocial microenvironment in which human infants evolved with their mothers through 5 million years of human history. Human infants require physical contact and touch for normal physiological, socio-emotional, and cognitive development. Physical touch in the context of co-sleeping affects infants and their caregivers in profound ways. Co-sleeping can be an important developmental context for encouraging and engaging in sensitive and responsive caregiving. It provides a context for maternal-infant physiological synchrony and regulation. Around the world, most infants experience physical contact and touch as they sleep during co-sleeping with the mother. This is the environment in which our species evolved, and it's the environment from which we've increasingly diverged. Sleeping alone is a historically radical and surprisingly recent concept. In ancient Greece and Rome, people slept together. In the ancient world, beds were shared. In Rome, patrician couples may have slept in different rooms, but servants and children slept together. The poor lived in one-room apartments where the whole family shared a single bed. This wasn't poverty, it was normal. The next time you lie alone in your bed, the next time you wake in the night and feel anxious, the next time you complain that you can't sleep, remember, for millions of years, humans didn't sleep alone. They slept together. pressed against each other, sharing warmth, sharing safety, sharing dreams. And because they slept together, they survived. And because they survived, we are here today. We are the descendants of people who slept in piles, people who trusted each other in the darkness, people who knew that survival wasn't about being strong enough to fight off predators alone. It was about being connected enough to know that someone would always be awake, someone would always be watching, someone would always be there. Sleeping alone is a luxury, but it's also a loss of something ancient, something deeply human, something we might never get back.